Oregon State Police.
Good afternoon. I'm Terry Davey, and I'm the superintendent of the Oregon State Police. As a law enforcement leader in Oregon, it is my responsibility to prepare and plan, to coordinate, and to implement those plans as a way to keep people safe, protect their rights, and to protect their property. Your Oregon State Police are working in coordination with local, state, and federal partners to ensure that we have a peaceful next 3 days. 48 to 72 hours from now, we will be on the other side of our presidential inauguration. And during this time, we are all preparing on what is going to, or what possibly could occur here in our beautiful state of Oregon. I know that the Oregon State Police wants to thank our partners for all the work we've done up to this point to get ready for what could or may not even occur, especially our partners at the Oregon National Guard. They have stepped up and they are assisting the Oregon State Police in ensuring our #1 mission in Oregon is taken care of. And our #1 mission for state police is the continuity of government. Today marks the first day of our legislative session in Oregon. And because of that, and because of the threats that have been made throughout the nation, your Oregon State Police are ensuring that your state government remains intact and continues. And we are doing that with the help of not only our Oregon National Guard partners, but also the Salem Police Department and the Marion County Sheriff's Office here in Marion County, Oregon. Our second responsibility is to the entire state. If any jurisdiction in Oregon needs assistance, then the Oregon State Police is here to respond. And we plan on being available and ready to go at a moment's notice to anywhere that may need us. Police respond to criminal conduct. And what that means is if any rally, protest happens throughout Oregon, especially here in Salem, then your troopers are going to respond. And we ask that you and anybody that may be with you to remain peaceful. You have the right to peacefully assemble. We support that right. And we hope that everybody understands that that is the goal for law enforcement and your communities. So if you plan on coming, just remember harassment, roadway blockage, vandalism, violence is not acceptable and will not be tolerated. Your troopers and other law enforcement will respond and handle the situation in the least amount of force necessary. As far as if you plan on attending a rally anywhere in Oregon, just remember, assemble peacefully, be safe, and have a great time exercising your First Amendment rights. We are here to keep everybody safe. Have a great next 48 to 72 hours.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next, we have General Michael Stencil from the Oregon National Guard.
Thank you, Captain Jones. As stated, I'm Major General Mike Stencil, the Adjutant General for the state of Oregon. This partnership with Oregon State Police is not new to us. Right now, we have National Guard members serving across the state with both mass and small COVID vaccination sites, security and riot support in partnership with OSP, support of the Oregon Military Department, and also in Washington, D.C., providing support for the presidential inauguration. Your citizen soldiers and airmen are from the communities they live in and are here to support the people of Oregon. Know that when we are needed, we are there. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Next, we have Chief Trevor Womack of Salem Police Department.
Thank you, Captain. As your capital city, we've seen protest activities and demonstrations just increase recently, both in size and intensity. As we've seen, it's a phenomenon that's occurring across the nation at all state capitals. I want to assure our community that the Salem Police Department are working closely with our partners here at the Oregon State Police, the Marion County Sheriff's Office, other regional, state, and federal partners. And they've all been assisting us, and we've been assisting them in a variety of ways. And the level of communication that we've seen here in the partnership between law enforcement agencies has been excellent. So we at Salem PD want to thank those partners and specifically call them out and recognize their cooperation and coordination. The protests that we've seen as of late here directed at the Capitol have also impacted our Salem community in a variety of ways, from impacting traffic flows to shutting down downtown businesses, and even affecting communities and within neighborhoods, for example, around Bush Park or Pringle Park or the area around the governor's mansion. And so it's impacted our community across the board in a variety of ways. We've been working hard to increase our communications regarding protests with our community. And so we've crafted and clearly stated what our priorities are as far as our approach towards managing protests. And I want to touch on those again today. First and foremost, we need to prevent or intervene acts of violence that may occur. Same goes for preventing or stopping property damage or vandalism. And given what we've seen at the nation's capital and even at our capital here in Oregon before, we want to deny the unlawful occupation of buildings, government buildings or private. Secondly, we need to work hard to keep opposing groups separated as much as possible, because the risk of violence greatly increases when folks with diametrically opposed viewpoints come into contact, as we've seen recently. That's part of our approach. Thirdly, we also want to address low-level offenses as they occur and when it's appropriate, keeping in mind that it always depends on the totality of the circumstances. For us to intervene in low-level offenses such as traffic offenses or impeding traffic or graffiti, for example, that would take resources away from our higher priorities of protecting life and property. So that can only be done when it's safe and appropriate, but it is a priority for us as well. And finally, the work for us doesn't end when the protest ends. It continues on. And so we want to conduct quality follow-up investigations, communicating well with our partners to make sure that we're holding folks accountable for crimes that may be committed during protests that aren't addressed on the day of the protest itself. So those are our priorities for the protest management that we've expressed to our community and that we will continue to follow through on over the coming days. We find ourselves here at the Salem Police Department, and I think law enforcement in general, continually balancing sometimes competing interests of protecting public safety and guarding and encouraging and facilitating individual constitutional rights, for example, free speech and assembly and the Second Amendment. I want to assure everyone that the Salem Police Department stands neutral in that area, in that balance, making our decisions during protests based on the neutral interest of public safety alone. And it's regardless of any views expressed by any individual or group, any politics associated with any group or ideology. We remain neutral and we make decisions based on the best interest of public safety. These resources have been and continue to be very demanding and resource intensive, but we stand ready. We're well equipped, we're well prepared to protect and safeguard our community tomorrow and the days ahead. We're continually coordinating with all of our partners to make sure that we're prepared to do that. So I'd like to encourage the community as well to pay attention to our social media platforms, as we'll continue to share as much information as possible as we move forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chief Womack. Next, we have an update from the FBI with Special Agent in Charge, Kieran Ramsey.
Good afternoon. As she said, my name is Kieran Ramsey. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the FBI here in Oregon. Now, I'm new to Oregon, but I spent time detailed here over the summer, so I'm very well acquainted with the work that's been going on in the state over these past number of months. We have great relationships here in Oregon with all of our law enforcement, community, and government partners. And Oregon is really fortunate to have such a deep bench of people in my office that have lived here and worked here for a very long time. I want to thank all of our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners as we continue to work to identify, investigate, and most importantly, disrupt any potential violence that may occur over these next couple of days. We've had many opportunities to work together, so I believe we're very well prepared for anything that may come our way at this point. Given the events of the past couple of weeks, it's obvious that the FBI is operating at a heightened state of alert. Specifically, we're working to investigate and identify anyone that may be trying to incite others to violence or who may be planning criminal activity. But to be successful in that effort, we need the public's help. We need the communities in Oregon's help. If you have information that someone is planning crimes or threatening violence, either here in the state of Oregon or really anywhere in the US, please contact us. You can call us here at the Portland FBI office at 503-224-4181. You can call us on our national tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI, or you can send us a tip digitally at tips.fbi.gov. Now, of course, we're still concerned about locations that have been previously targeted with violence over these last number of months, but with large events such as these, during an inauguration, there are always the potential concerns for criminal actors to target what we call soft targets, whether those be houses of worship, minority organizations, or other government offices, or something else. But as we sit here right now, we have no credible information at this time of any planned attacks against soft targets. But we're working to make sure everyone is at that heightened state of vigilance. If you consider your organization a potential soft target and you continue to have concerns, please call us, contact law enforcement. As always, if we come across information, though, that represents a credible threat, whether that be to a high-profile government building or soft targets, we're going to immediately share that information with our law enforcement partners and the potential victims so that we can help